So this is us arriving at the golf course now. As you can see, it is pure white. I doubt very much there's going to be anybody playing golf today. Snow's actually getting a bit heavier. You can see quite a lot of it coming over the water there. I don't know how long it's going to last though. So on the previous walk, you would have seen that statue there. It's Inverallochy Golf Club. So on my previous video, the Inverallochy walk, we turned right that way towards the airfield monument. Today we are going this way. So you could probably just see the road away in the distance there. That's what we'll be following. This is the old disused railway track that takes you to St Coombs. I don't see anyone around, unless that can't be people on the golf course up there, can't be. So this is the disused railway track that takes us to St Coombs. Snow's still falling, but it's not quite as thick, but hopefully it'll come down a bit thicker. This is what I wanted to see, and that's the old airfield and the hangars up there. So these are just sheds that the golf course use to put their mowers and stuff in. And as you can see, the fairways are pure white. It's like being in Alaska. Just about every single house along this road which looks onto the golf course is basically that size, with huge gardens and outbuildings and stuff. I'm not sure who lives in these houses, but I wouldn't like to pay their gas and electric bills. But I suppose if they can afford to have a house like that, they can afford to pay the bills. Not saying I wouldn't want one of these houses, but someone gave me one for free. Now there is quite a bit of wildlife out here. I don't think we'll see any today. There's generally rabbits, hares, obviously sheep, quite a lot of bird life, deer. I've seen deer just about every single day this week being up here. This is just a small stream that runs through the golf course. I'll go down and take a couple of pictures of that. Carrying on along this disused railway track. Still got about probably 15 minutes to go before we get to St Coombs. But once we get there, on the way back, I'm just going to walk up the middle of the golf course, because I've no doubt I'll be the first people, one of the first people to have walked on the snow this morning. I've always liked it since a kid, just having my first footprints in the snow. I don't know why, it just feels good walking on snow. That's not been broken before. Had to do my snow angel, just had to do it. back along the golf course the way we came up. We're heading up this way to the top of that bend there, follow the bend around, and then it goes slightly uphill again, not much though, and then down the hill into St Coombs. It's the 15th tee, and no, there's no one on the golf course. I'm the only person out here. I was going to say only idiot out here, but I don't think I'm an idiot. I love being out in the snow. So now coming to the top of this hill here. Once we get to the top of this bit, it goes level and then down the hill, down into St Coombs. So this is at the top of that hill now. The snow's actually stopped, but it looks like there's still plenty in the sky. Just not sure if it's heading this way or not. That is St Coombs in the distance there. It looks quite far away, but actually isn't. It's only about 5 minutes walk down the hill here. I'm not expecting to see too much snow in St Coombs, although in Cairnbolg and Inverallochy there was a bit of snow on the ground, which is unusual because being so close to the coast, with the salt air and the seawater, apparently it's been about 10 years since there was this amount of snow that fell and landed. They actually got snowed off then. I'll put some information up on the screen of when the last major snowfall was here. I believe it was 2015 maybe. Some brave soul out in their car driving on these roads. Wouldn't be me. Must be desperate to get out. The disused railway track heads along there into the village, but I'm going to head down this road down here, which just takes us down to the beach. I doubt very much there'll be any snow on the beach. But we'll have a look. I've driven down here before, but I've never walked down here before. And the idea of walking back up through the golf course is so I don't have to walk back up this hill again. The golf course is just a gradual hill, which is quite a steep one, this one. As far as the golf course goes, I'm not sure what number tee that is. Might be halfway, not sure. It makes sense to be halfway, wouldn't it, because it's the furthest you can go. But the way golf courses are laid out, you go back and up and down and across and all this kind of stuff, so it may well not be the halfway point. There is a tee box at the top there, we'll see that on the way back. arriving into a small village just before we get to St Coombs called Charleston. I'm not sure if it's still part of St Coombs or not. I would imagine not, because Inverallochy and Cairnbulloch are so close, but they're separate villages, so I'm assuming it's the same for this. So that's what's in Charleston. It seems to be the thing for these small villages around this area. There's always houses up for sale. In Inverallochy alone, I think there's probably at least, I don't know, about 6, maybe 7 houses that all need done up, and they're all up for sale. And I mean, when I say done up, it means that they don't have any internal walls or any electric stuff. There's always people seems to be working on them. I don't think they'll be going anywhere in their caravan in the next couple of days, that's for sure. Down towards the left here. And there's another house for sale. I'm assuming because it's called Beach Retreat, that'll be a holiday cottage, which again, in all these small villages around here, there's plenty of holiday cottages around. And so you can get quite a good deal if you just look around. It's always good to see one of these around. Very easy to use. You just follow the instructions, and the main thing is you don't panic. So I'm guessing that possibly used to be an old lifeboat station. St Coombs, Newtown. Also, it's no longer a lifeboat station, because where would the boat go and get into the water? But this is us at the beach. Now when it's seal breeding season, apparently St Coombs Beach is where the pups come to have a bit of a rest. I've seen seals along Cairnbulloch and Inverallochy before, but haven't really adventured along this way too much, so I haven't seen any seals here. But I'm just kind of blown away that I'm walking on snow on the beach. All my time living in Scotland and wherever else I've been in the world, I've never seen snow on the beach before. So I'm continuing to walk along the beach here. Probably walk along for another 5 minutes or so. Not much to see, unfortunately. This is as far as I'm going to go. It gets a bit too rocky here, I don't want to roll my ankle. Way in the distance there, there's a lighthouse. I've put some information on the bottom of the screen about that lighthouse there. I'm not 100% sure where that is. Only thing I can think of being down that way is St Fergus possibly. But I'll put the information up on the screen. But this is as far as I'm going to go, and it's now time to head back. So with the snow now off, I'll be able to take the waterproof cover off the camera and give you a bit of commentary. I'm not sure if you're able to hear my commentary before with the cover on. If not, you'll be able to hear me now. If you did, all good. So these footprints in the snow here are actually mine. I'm the only person here. No one else on the beach. This is where people take their dogs. It's a dog friendly beach, like most beaches around here. So we'll start heading up towards the golf course again, but we'll walk up through the golf course this time, like I say, instead of walking up that hill. It's taken about half an hour to get here from Inverallochy. It's 20 minutes to St Coombs, but I spent another 10 minutes walking on the beach. So a round trip will probably take you about an hour. It's all fairly flat, and like I've said in previous videos, most people will be able to do the walks that I do. Because I don't push myself, I just take my time. Now, I know I said I was going to walk up along the golf course. I'm actually tempted to just keep walking along the beach, because that would take us along the side of the golf course anyway. And there's a more chance of seeing some wildlife if I stay on the beach. I'll have a look at this wee stream here, see how deep it is, and see if I can get across it. Although there is a bridge up there. If I can't, that's all. Look, it doesn't look bad. Yeah, I don't think I'll bother stepping in that. I think I'll go across the bridge. That's what the bridge is there for, so I'm supposed to use it. Now this will be, I think this will be my 5th video that I've uploaded. My last video, the Inverallochy Cairnbulg walk, I had over 200 views on it. Now I know that doesn't seem a lot compared to proper YouTubers who are getting thousands of hits on their videos, but I'm not asking anyone to subscribe or pay for it. I just put it out there. People want to watch it, they want to watch it. If they don't, they don't. But for me to get 200 views on one of my videos, I was quite happy with that. And every time I do a video, when I watch it back, I see something that I can improve on. I know I'm not the best, still learning how to do this, but I think I'm doing okay. Try to keep it simple, something that people actually want to watch, and try not to talk too much, to be honest. As I say that, there is a silence. Yes, I'm just going to carry on walking along this beach. So that's us left Charleston and St Coombs behind us, and now I've decided we're just going to walk along the beach here. There's a few rocks up here, I might see some seabirds or stuff. With the strong winds that we've been having, I'm actually very surprised that there's not more rubbish and seaweed about here. Now, I've never been along this stretch of this beach before, so I'm not sure if I'll get all the way around. I might need to cut up onto the golf course. But I just want to see if I can see some wildlife along here. Now this here almost looks like it's an old harbour. It's got a brick wall, an opening and another brick wall. So I'm not sure if that used to be an old harbour or not. Well, what's the reason for putting two brick walls with an entrance? If I can find any information on that, I'll put it up on the screen. Because there is sheds up there, so maybe this is where, oh, and there is a boat ramp there. Yeah, so it looks like this was a very small harbour. There's the boat ramp right there. Maybe I'll be on by the golf course, I'm not sure. Old lobster and crab pots. Yeah, that one's definitely not being used. It looks like this might have been an old lifeboat station or something, because it's got the old bricks. That is an old padlock. I'll put the camera inside. I'm not sure what you can see in there, it's probably too dark. Yep, so that's the boat ramp. I think it's the smallest harbour I've ever seen. Yeah, so I've cut back up onto the golf course again. I was just getting a bit too rocky and slidey down there. I'd probably be alright if it was dry, but the snow just makes it real slippery on the rocks. So I'm walking through the sand dunes at the moment, and we'll cut across up onto the golf course. There's always a path. When I did my Portnocky Cullen walk and I ended up on the golf course, the first green I came to was a 13th green, or the 13th tee. Guess what? This is the 13th tee again. So two golf courses, entering onto the golf course, and both entering on the 13th tee. That is what should be a bunker, full of sand, but it's full of snow. Now the snow's starting to fall again. We can see how heavy it gets to see whether I need to put on my waterproof cover for my camera or not. Yeah, the snow's coming down pretty heavy again. Now there's a few things I want to see when I come to the northeast of Scotland. One is snow, tick. Northern lights, tick. Seals, tick. And killer or orca whales, no tick on that one. I'm kind of hoping when it's actually the proper season for them, which I believe is around about May, September, as I mentioned before in a previous video. They do come around this area. I've just never been fortunate enough to be here at the time when they were here, but I'm hoping 2026 is going to change that for me. So from here we're about 10-15 minutes maybe to Inverallochy. I can see the clubhouse away in the distance. That's the last building on the right hand side there, that's the clubhouse. That's probably only about 10 minutes away. So that's us nearing the end of our walk now. That's the clubhouse building right there, which means that's Inverallochy right in front of us. Stopped snowing again. I think all the wildlife must be away on its holidays. Looks like there's still some snow in the sky across the water there. Not sure if it's coming this way or not. But you can guarantee in about 3 days time this will all be green again, the snow will have disappeared. So this Tuesday, the 6th of December I think. No, can't be. No, it is. I think it's Tuesday the 6th. And it's not December, it's January. Aye, that's the end of the walk today, which took us from Inverallochy to St Coombs and back. I hope you've enjoyed it. That's the second video of 2026 done. Lots more to come. I'll see you in the next one. See ya, bye.